गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं. Now from verse sutra number 61 to 66, the obstacles to devotion are being enumerated, and sutra number 61, Naradji says, Lokahanau chintana karya niveditatma aloka vedashilatvat लोकहानौ चिंता न कार्या निवेदितात्मलोक वेदशीलत्वात्. No worry or anxiety should be entertained at the worldly losses, as it is the nature of a true devotee to constantly surrender his limited self and all its secular and sacred activities to the Lord of his heart. And therefore here Naradji is declaring and stating that when trials and tribulations come into our life, that time, instead of thinking about them, the devotion, in the path of devotion, the devotee offers all those trials and tribulations at the feet of the Lord and himself remains unworried. The principle in devotion is, don't worry, be happy. Bob Marley. Don't worry, be happy now. So never become anxious about anything. Don't entertain it. Instead, wash your hands, it's the Lord's doing, offer it to Him and be happy. There is no other, that's the attitude that a devotee entertains within his mind, and therefore because he wants to reach the goal of Narayana, and if he has to reach the goal of Narayana, the goal of the Supreme Lord, then where is the question of maintaining the individuality? It is for the individual that successes and failures come. It is for the individual that the anxieties and guilts are there. And anything that comes into his life, successes, failures, trials, difficulties, challenges, everything one by one, as he becomes aware of them while he is remembering the Lord, he keeps offering them to the Lord. And it is not in the beginning stages, you are not remembering the Lord all the time, but whenever they come, instead of taking ownership of them, you offer them to the devotee offers them to the Lord, and in this way the Lord, the sage Narada is saying that the attitude of this devotee is like that. We say, don't be too happy, sorrow is just after too much happiness. And if someone is too down and about, you say, don't worry, experience the sorrow. Immediately after that, the happiness is waiting for you. So both ways we take it. You be sure which one you are talking about. Same thing, if it is, it's raining too much, don't worry, sun is coming out. It's too hot, night is coming. When will the night get over? Don't worry, it will get over, light is coming. And similarly, when we have this attitude in our mind that everything is passing by, nothing is going to stay permanent in this creation. And therefore, even these troubles and tribulations that come to him, because of this attitude towards the Lord, he is able to understand that, these will also go by. I'll just stay focused on the Lord. Otherwise, what do? We stay focused on the problems, trying to solve the problems. And can we solve anything in this world? Nothing. There are no solutions in this world. And in the Lord, no solutions are required. Then who is suffering? The one in between. The individual. And if we want to get to that state of surrender, then all these aspirations, ambitions, successes, failures are for this individual. And this individual is the one who is surrendering himself to the Lord. So in that surrender, he keeps offering everything to the Lord without taking any ownership, without taking any responsibility. And in this manner, how can the devotee maintain this type of mindset, this type of thinking within his mind when he is just beginning on the path of devotion, just started, someone you have taken the mantra from, and you start Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. You are doing it in the train. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. And you are so relaxed that you put your foot on the chair. $277 bill. Lord, I was chanting your name and you gave me $277. From that day onwards, you stop chanting. Why? Chanting the name of the Lord makes me pay more money to the government. Now that conclusion is not the right conclusion. Huh? Huh?
It's not.
No. You can't put your leg up and
chant.
Why not? You can go in Shirshasana and chant. Who is going to stop you?
Nobody is stopping me, but I don't know. There's a humble.
Humble? Oh, all Westerners keep their legs straight and then chant. They don't sit cross-legged. Go to any yoga class. Go to some bhajan kirtans. You must have seen. Legs are straight. They don't sit cross-legged. It's not humble, but what can they do? They want to enjoy the bhajan. And they are not able to sit. So, some people can, some people can't. But the point here is that what is the psychological makeup that how do we convince ourselves that we have to continue holding on to the Lord and not think about the difficulties and challenges that are coming into our life. At that time, the devotee, as a result of his devotion, will get this type of thinking that all the sorrows are for the mind. For a jnani, it is easy to think this way, that all the sorrows are for the mind. I am not the mind. I am watching the mind. Therefore, I got nothing to do with the difficulties and challenges and aspirations and ambitions and successes and failures. So, a jnani, and the one who is walking the path of knowledge, he can get away. But what does a devotee do? He is not thinking. He says, "Oh Prabhu, हे प्रभो आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, please give me knowledge. Oh Prabhu, please give me knowledge." He doesn't have this knowledge. He only knows one thing, and that is my Lord is there in my heart, and I have to become one with Him. And in the early stages, he has to what do you call? As he is moving, as he is building up his devotion, his love for the Lord, at that time, whatever comes in the way, he keeps offering. You all know the story of Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad. When, even though he said it in arrogance, in the sense of all ownership, that I own the three worlds, oh Brahmachari, ask me what do you want? He says, I want only 3 steps of land, 3 steps. He says, you are already a dwarf, out of that small feet, and you want only 3 steps? Man, you ask something worthy, you don't know whom you are asking. I am the emperor of the 3 worlds. He says, I am not greedy. I am not greedy. I want only 3 steps. He says, okay, if you insist. He says, no, I am not satisfied that you will give me. First you take a vow that you will give it to me. Because many people have gone back on their words. And he says, okay, I'll take. He takes the water in his hand, takes the sankalpa. And then after he has taken the vow and made the promise that I'll give you 3 steps, that small dwarf, who was none other than Lord Narayana, he starts increasing his size. He increases so much. With one step, he covers the earth. With the second step, he covers everything else. Now he says, where do I put the 3rd step? Tell me. So your promise is going wrong, not going to be completed. You will go to hell because of that. Tell me, what should I do? Why did you promise me 3 steps? If you could not give me the 3 steps, at that time, when he realized that King Bali, he realized that it is the Lord himself who has come and asked me for 3 steps. What is there for me to own? I am myself, I am not myself of my own. I am also Lord. At that time, thinking of the Lord, the grace of the Lord, that great Bali, instead of remaining in a nonplussed state, he says, please put your 3rd step on my head and take away my ego. Beautiful, no? This is the attitude that every devotee must have as he is moving on the journey of devotion. It's expanding, but it will only expand to the extent you melt as an individual. Because it is the individual who is obsessed with the world, in maintaining the world, maintaining the relationships, maintaining, seeking the successes and sorting out the failures. It is the individual. And unless this individual is not annihilated, is not surrendered, till then devotion is not possible. Till then devotion will not expand. Till then devotion will not become deeper and subtler. Till then devotion will not reach that climax where it includes everything that there is to be included. And therefore the devotee must remain alert in the early stages to keep offering everything to the Lord rather than take ownership. Not only all the successes and failures, but also his body, his ailments, his ideas, his emotions, his concepts, his sense of individuality, everything. That outside is just the beginning. But as in yoga we control all those things, In devotion, we keep surrendering all those things to the Lord. Let thy will prevail. Let thy will prevail. Let thy will prevail. And as long as our attention is not on the successes and failures, and instead it is on the divine theme, then our mind will remain undisturbed. Because it's experiencing the joy of love. It's experiencing the joy of God remembrance. And this is the antidote of how to protect yourself while we are moving through this life. The joy of the devotee is only in expanding his joy, his love for the Lord. And that love for the Lord is only going to expand only if he strives for the Lord. And that striving does not mean making your individuality even more concrete. I am chanting, I am doing this, I have to maintain everything. Let me get a quick lottery, then I'll be free to chant the name of the Lord. Let me solve all the problems, and then I will chant the name of the Lord. That day will never come, my friends. It will never happen. So as it is happening, because a devotee does not create a special status for himself outside his daily life. A jnani may, a hatha yogi may, a raj yogi may. But a devotee, wherever he is, however he is, in whichever situation he is, he keeps on taking and offering everything to the Lord. See, when I go to Haridwar, most of the time people are there with me. Now this time also we'll go. When we go to Haridwar, the first thing we do at Haridwar is leave our bags and straight away go to Gangaji. And in Gangaji, my instruction to everyone is take a breath, because to take bath, it's very fast flowing water, and you have to hold chains and everything, and then take a dip. And when you take a dip, the water takes you. You are holding the chain, and bath is over. Then you come out. You can't stand there, go down and come back. It's not possible. So in that, and once, before you go in, you are afraid. Once you go into the water, the feeling, the texture, the sanctity, oh, it's beautiful. I don't know how many hundreds of times I have taken bath, taken a dip in the Ganges, but still I am not satiated by that. Every time it's like a new experience. Last time he swam from one side to the other in the canal, isn't it? Did you cross the other side or you came halfway? Halfway he came back. The water pushed him back. But it is everyone who has come or who have met, who has taken bath, a dip in the Ganges, they have felt something different about it. And my instruction there is, go into the water, think of something that is ailing you, something that you want to surrender to the Lord, something that you have not been able to resolve, something that is a deep-seated fear or anxiety about something, and offer it to take a breath in, normally you do, to take a dip, and you go in. Stay inside water for 1 second, 10 seconds. And while breathing out in the Ganges, mentally offer that issue to the Gangaji. Gangaji is a goddess, isn't it? And invariably, everyone experiences that problem goes away from their mind, from their life. So this way, every time a problem comes, Om Namo Narayanaya, surrender it. Take a dip in the name of the Lord and offer that issue, that success, that failure, that trouble, that challenge offer it to the Lord. And in this way, the more you give up ownership, giving up ownership means everything that this individual is holding on to has to be offered. That offering is called sacrifice. That offering is called oblation into the fire of love which is burning in your heart for the Lord. Let everything get turned into ashes. on this journey, where only you and the Lord remain. That's the ultimate, isn't it? And this way, lokanau chinta na karya niveditatma loka vedashilatvat. Even not only that, niveditatma vedashilatvat. So, such a such a person with this attitude is able to not only surrender the world but also the Vedas, all the learning, all the knowledge and wisdom that he has gained over the years, everything that establishes his identity separate to the Lord, everything at appropriate levels of your devotion, whatever is coming up, you will not get the three gunas to be surrendered at the beginning. It will not happen. In the beginning only, your seat will come in your mind. If someone takes your chair. So you sit in meditation, hey yaar, someone took my seat. Offer it to the Lord. That time it will not come, hey yaar, I have to give up Trigonatmika Maya. It is not possible because you haven't reached that level. So how do you know where you have reached? Depending upon what is erupting in your mind. And as your mind, as your love expands, whatever the deep-seated issues are, they will keep coming to the forefront, and all you have to do is keep sacrificing them at the feet of the Lord again and again and again, and keep expanding as a result. And that's all that a devotee can do. And in this way, there is nothing that is mine. Everything is yours. The whole world is made up of, the whole world is Narayana. How can I say anything is mine? So in this way, it's all yours, all yours, all yours. And in this way, the bhakta, the devotee, remains free of all individuality, of all ownership, and discovers that silence, that peace, that joy, that Shantivat and Paramanandavat, isn't it? He gains that inexplicable peace, that inexplicable bliss on account of this continuous sacrifice that he is offering into this fire of love for the Lord. Sutra 62 says, Natat siddhau loka vyavaharo heyaha किंतु फलत्यागः तत्साधनं च कार्यमेव न तत्सिद्धौ लोकव्यवहारो हेयः किंतु फलत्यागः तत्साधनं च कार्यमेव. Till such a consummate love is not gained, tat siddhau, or on attaining the consummate love, tad asiddhau, worldly activities are not to be abandoned. But certainly we must diligently pursue love and learn to renounce our anxiety to enjoy the fruit of our activities. Now here technique is given by sage Narada, how while remaining in the world, not running away from the world, we continue to develop devotion. Because wherever you go, there the world will follow you. Whether it is Himalayas, whether it is ashram, whether it is inside your room, when you become little bit silent, even right now you ask anyone, can you hear the fly or can you hear the mosquito? No. But the moment you sit quietly, all the mosquitoes you can hear. Isn't it? All the sounds that you were not available to suddenly become, the bird is also there, the wind is also there, that so many things, rustling of the leaves, your senses become heightened and you start getting disturbed. So, live where you are. Don't create. People want to meditate, people want to take the name of the Lord. My suggestion to them always is, do not get into the mind straight away. Always start chanting loudly. Forget about going and sitting in meditation. And meditation is the ultimate stage. It is not the beginning stage. Beginning stage is living your life correctly. Beginning stage is living, as Yoga Sutra says, do not disturb anyone, do not get disturbed by anyone. That is the first stage. And here we are, suddenly we go to one satsang or we get initiated and we want to sit in the mantra and nothing happens. And you must have come across many people. See, they have chanted the mantra for 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years. So many people are there. But what has happened after that? What change has come about? Has the love expanded? Their capacity to chant the mantra for 4 hours continuously? Yes, that has expanded. But its result should be expansion of love, not expansion of willpower. What has happened is, willpower has become stronger, that I can sit for 3 hours without disturbance. I can chant 16 rosaries in one go without any disturbance. I can live without food for so many days and chant the Lord's name. So what are you trying to prove and to whom? So therefore here it is told, Narad Muni is saying that the na tat siddhau loka vyavaharo heyaha, till such a consummate love is not gained. So tat siddhau, or another way of written is tada siddhau, which is attaining the consummate love, both ways. In the first stage, you are still a devotee, and the other stage, tada siddhau, is that you have realized. In both the stages, he is saying you must continue to carry out your responsibilities, carry out your duties, carry out your work. Because you have been initiated, don't resign. Nothing is going to happen. And it is my own personal experience. I was meditating and sadhana was going very well, and the inside urge was, I must sit more often, I must sit more often. And at the first opportunity, I resigned from the job. And I came and sat home. For 3 weeks I was at home, out of which first 3-4 days I meditated. After the 4th day, how many times I want to meditate? When I was working, the morning meditation and the night meditation was fantastic. And why did I resign? So that I can sit more sessions of meditations during the day. But after that, when I resigned, first day went in rest. Secondly, suddenly, I have to meditate. I started. 2-3 days I enjoyed. Maybe I increased one more session during the week. Mind said, oh, do it slowly, don't overdo it, otherwise you will not do it at all. So I said, okay. From 2 I made it 3. 4 days I must have done it. After the 5th day, the thought, no income. Apply for dole. Ask dad for petrol money. Ask dad for paying the car loan. I had no savings. I had to pay the credit card also. After that, after those first 3-4 days of they were really nice. But after that, 2.5 weeks, when I was trying hard, I used to go and sit. After third day, the mind was just bombarding all these things. You have to do this, you have to do that, how will you pay the bill? Again, instead of the Lord, instead of Om, only this japa was going on. And mind did not want to face it. All it did, the moment this type of thought was, go to sleep straight away. I am sitting nicely against my bed and going to sleep. After 2 hours, and then go around, again sit down, again go to sleep. Because mind does not want to face these challenges. Then after 2-3, it became too much. Then after 2.5, 3 weeks, I said, okay, I have to find whatever job I get, I must find one. And again income stream started. Then, because I was not prepared for that. It must happen. It was an individual egocentric decision to resign from the job. It was not happening. Sleep is happening. You can't make a decision to go to sleep. It happens. So here it is told that until one reaches the highest state, which means the highest devotion, where continuously unbroken flow of thoughts are moving towards the divine, that is that transcendental state, which is the samadhi state, dhyan state, which will lead to savikalpa and nirvikalpa samadhi. But till that does not happen, till then we must continue to perform all the actions in the world. Don't run away from anything. Put forth again and again. Don't shy away, because the love for the Lord will give you even more inspiration. It will not give you depression. It cannot. You will start living an inspired life, remembering everything, doing everything what is with even a greater fervor. But remember, at that time, when you are doing whatever has to be done with inspiration, the attitude behind should be as an offering to the Lord. Then the individual will wean away from all these responsibilities. Then alone the love will expand. But if there is a reaction, अच्छा Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare, यार मेरे पास क्यों आता रहता है यार बार बार, I have to water the plants, I have to feed the cat, I have to clean the garden. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Nothing will happen. That garden will pursue me till I die. That cat will live longer than it should to trouble me, because Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because I am reacting. See? But if the attitude is, okay, whatever happens, happens. If this is what Lord wants me to do, this is what He has to do. Initially it was an issue. I came back home and Swamiji said, start classes here. I said, okay. Sannyasi renounced everything, comes back home. She was happy. But my mind, no, but how this, but how that, and it was an issue. But you can't argue with Swamiji also. But no, but he says no arguments, no discussions. Story over. And then every now and then he asks, so how is it going? I said, Swamiji, because I am there, therefore you are coming to Australia. He says, I would have come anyway. I'm joking with him. I'm not seriously saying that. I said, no, Swamiji, at least, he says, yes, there is a platform, classes are going well, your sadhana is going, that's good. But I had to eventually come to terms with it. That this is where life has placed me. And wherever life has placed me unasked, that is the best place that you will grow yourself, that you will expand. If you create, if the individual desires something, he will contract there. But wherever life without your decisions is placing you, that is the perfect place for you to grow further. Whatever the situation life throws at you, those are the perfect situations, perfect challenges, perfect successes, perfect failures from which you can transcend. But what man individual does, when there is failure, I want success. When there is success, I want more success. And keeps getting entrapped in that and keeps concretizing his individuality by way of reactions. And in devotion,
Perfect failure.
perfect failure.
What is perfect failure?
Pardon me?
What is perfect failure?
Why you ask that?
No, I didn't ask.
Huh? Someone tell her what is perfect failure?
Unattached to the result and offer.
Huh?
Unattached
Perfect failure.
is same as perfect success, that you have no attachment and you offer it regardless of the outcome in equanimity.
So then that is perfect failure. So that becomes success. You tell. What is perfect failure?
Forget the Lord's name.
Huh?
Forget the Lord's name.
Despite taking Lord's name and doing everything correctly, you are not weaned away from the word. Then the mom says that I didn't like it, and then for me at that point of time it is perfect failure. It's about my judgment. That doesn't mean it could be a failure for the other person's perspective.
Two ways you can look at it. You want to say something?
Well, it would be meant to. It was meant to have happened that way, and you had no control over that. So your attitude should be that that's how it should.
It was meant to be.
Is.
Ke sara sara.
If
Whatever will be, will be.
you've done the best you can under the circumstances, then that's the right outcome.
Perfect failure.
Is it
Failing to take the world as real.
Say that again loudly.
Failing to take the world as real.
Failure to take the world
Failing to take the world as real.
as real. Yeah. But which world? Be very careful. Not the names and forms.
Not-
You cannot take the names and forms to be real.
No.
No.
So,
So your relationships, your attachments, your aspirations, your successes, your failures, don't take them to, that is your world. So you cannot take that to be real because it was never real.
so I'm confused now. What was it?
You said failure to take the world to be real. Statement is correct,
Unreal.
but
But
you have to be, yes, either you say failure to take the world to be unreal, that will be also correct. But if you take the statement failure to take the world to be real, means yes, you want to see the world as real and you are not able to, so therefore that is failure, isn't it? And as long, and while making that statement, if your mental attention is on the names and forms, your husband, children, etc., then that can never become the real. That can never become the real. Because only the substratum is real. Just like water is real, waves are only imaginary. Same way, all the individuals, all the names and forms are only imaginary. The substratum, the essence is the real. And the essence there is the love. Essence there is the Atma. The essence there is the life principle. That is the real one. Failure to keep our attention on that is failure. So that is one way. But but now you look at it from the other side. What is perfect failure? Where you fail at everything.
yes, that's right. So that's
What have you succeeded in till today in life? What have you succeeded in life? You were not born by yourself. Huh? Mom had to push you out. Otherwise you wouldn't have come out. Someone else had to teach you to speak, someone else had to teach you to eat, someone else had to teach you hold your hand to walk, someone else had to teach you to do arithmetics, this, that, everything you had to, you never, and after doing all that, still we are a failure because we are still complaining. Life is too hard, life is not good. We are still reacting, and becoming a stronger and stronger individual with every passing day. If that is what is happening, perfect failure. But really speaking, nothing in our life we have ever done correctly. Everything is just happening. So when this realization comes that there is nothing in this life that I can do correctly, let me only remember the Lord. Then you have become perfect failure in life. That's alone, then alone you can surrender to the Lord. Because even if a little bit of feeling is there that I am going to be successful, I can do it, that I can take the name of the Lord. That is also a feeling of ego, no? That I am taking the name of the Lord. I think Lord is gracious. I'm expanding. I'm having horripilation. I'm having the tears. The moment that ego comes, everything stops. The moment Radha felt that I am in the arms of Krishna, he loves me more than other gopis. Patak, he threw her down and vanished. And she started crying. And hearing her, all the gopis came. They said, why are you crying? No. She realized her mistake. He said, when I was in his arms, I felt that I was superior to you all. So he left me. Only Radha can come to that conclusion. Another gopi would have, created a racket. See? And the drama that she did to be closer to him, so that and other gopis could see, she purposely said, oh Krishna. He said, yes, my darling. She said, I have got a thorn in my foot. Can you please lift me? The lover is always waiting for such a chance. It would have been okay. The Lord is also lifting you. Whatever drama you do. She told lies, it doesn't matter. Lord lifted, okay, it's there. Lord is carrying you all the time. But the moment this feeling comes, I am better than the others, I am closer to Krishna than the others, it drops you back in the world. Go, suffer. Isn't it? So here, Narad Muniji is saying that in life, nothing needs to be given up. Everything, because the Lord knows, that all-knowing Lord, He knows what is required by whom, when, where, at what time, in what measure, what dose, everything He knows. And all you have to do is, and you have this mindset that Lord is keeping you in the right environment for your own good. Ego can never choose a right environment for itself. It will make a boo-boo of everything. But Lord, if you are thinking of the Lord, then this understanding must come. Otherwise you are reacting. And in this way, just like a doctor knows who should be admitted into the hospital and who should not. No, he is going to the hospital. I also want to go to the hospital. Why? The other one says, why that fellow is getting such nice food in the hospital and you are on the other bed? And why am I not getting good? I am only getting soup. That fellow is getting fried rice, noodles, papadam, everything. And me, only soup and bread. Is it your decision what you eat? And he complains to the doctor. Doctor says, who has stomach problem, him or you? He says, yeah, I got stomach cancer. What is his problem? His problem is malnourishment. Therefore he is eating all sumptuous food. Your problem is stomach cancer, therefore you are eating only soup. You want to eat that and die quickly, we can do that. Similarly, Lord also knows. He is our doctor. He is the doctor of the ego. He knows which environment is conducive for our growth. And once this clicks inside, it's a joyous journey then. Because then you don't have to worry what environment to create, what environment not to create. You can't run away from anywhere. Then anywhere you are comfortable. Oh, this is what he has ordered. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. And in that God remembrance that this is the environment which is ordered by Him for my betterment. Your attention is not on the environment but on the Lord who ordered it for you. Isn't it? That is the sacrifice. Because in spite of conducive or non-conducive environment, your attention is on the divine. You are not forgetting Him. And in this way, for the bhakta who has, and on the other hand, tat siddhau loka vyavaharo, the one who has already realized that supreme love within his heart, for such a person, it is inevitable, it is necessary that he continues to live in the world to propagate that devotion, propagate the right way of living, propagate the right way of thinking, the right attitudes, and that the best way he can do is by living a life like that, not by just teaching. Not everyone is intellectual. Not everyone wants to understand. But a person living, I feel, again my experience, when Swamiji comes here, I spend 1 month with him. It is the best time of my life. Because just being in his presence and doing things for him and just watching him all the time, or sometimes I'll just ask questions, even though I know but those are my conclusions. But how does he think about the same thing? I'll ask the questions. For example, this statement, if I read it, if some thought is there, because I don't want to waste the time with him, I'll put something to him and see what is his take on it. So when I see him, and I know, you look at his itinerary, roaming around, spreading the name of the Lord, spreading the message of the scriptures, without incessantly, every day, for last 25, 30, 35 years. Naturally, whether he has taught me or not, by looking at that person, by being with that person, you get inspired. And we know in the course, I have not seen any person like that. What he used to teach, he used to practice during the class, during the daytime also. Everything, all the qualities that he taught or the scriptures teach, he used to practice. If he is teaching us, he initiated us into doing puja, he says, do the puja. Before doing the puja, you go to his room, he will every day 5, 6 lectures. We are doing only 4. And plus 1 meditation, 5. He did that for 2 years. And he used to get up at 3:30 in the morning. From 3:30 to 4:30 he will do the puja. After doing that for some good number of days, because he had just little bit puja, but now he has to initiate us into doing puja. So he did that first. And he continued doing it for many more months So that if anyone ever comes to his house, to his flat where he was staying in the ashram, in the morning he is doing the puja. See? If he is telling us do meditation, he is not sleeping while we are meditating. With the excuse, I have to speak, you guys only have to sit and listen. So I need more rest, you go and meditate in the temple. No. He will be there on the dot. We will be late many times, but he will be there on the dot. See? And apart from all this, even while the classes were going on, in between, between the class 1.5 hour break, sometimes 2 hours break, Saturdays and Sundays a little bit longer, one class was less. In that, we will go to Thane and take a series of lectures there, go to Prempuri Ashram, take series of lectures there, someone calls for Bhiksha, go there, rush back, take our class. You see that example, you cannot but feel inspired. You see Akhandanand Maharaj, you see Chinmayanandji, you see Shivananda healing free of cost all the lepers and all the blind people in that ashram there, in Shivananda ashram. Through actions you recognize a person, isn't it? It's not just lip service to everything. Girls in the house say, auntie, they call Maushi to mommy, Maushi, when we are your age, even if we are half as active as you are, we will be very happy. Lazy buggers. Half as. So that means, why you are waiting for when you get to that age, 70 and plus? Why don't you start being active right now? Why don't you take interest in everything right now? If you see she is taking interest in everything, she does so many things, then you have to develop interest. You don't develop interest after retirement. Nothing happens after retirement. Only one thing happens, death. Isn't it? So life is of exploring, of expanding that love. And here the Lord is, Narad Ji is saying that for such a devotee, the anxiety cannot be there. And the anxiety for profits, for loss, for successes, for failures, it cannot be there, because he said is the Lord's will and let it prevail. It's got nothing to do with me. And he lives, that Narayana who is living up there in the heavens, in the Vaikuntha, lying down, sleeping all the time. Please wake up, take care of everything. I have got nothing to do here. You created the creation, you created me. It's your problem how you maintain everything, not my problem. But this must go deep into your heart as a conviction, and you live it out. And in this way, is it that when we live this life and we just keep adding the name of Ram, Ram, Ram to our lips, and that is it? No, you don't just keep chanting the name, but if you are doing it with love in your heart, every action that you perform in your daily life will be an expression of joy. And this you have to try. Once you start chanting the name of the Lord loudly, slowly, you will forget who is there around you, who is not there, whether you are in bathroom, whether you are in toilet, whether you are in the train. You will keep chanting the Lord's name. And you will find appropriate answers also if someone says, hey, what are you doing? I'll tell you, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Actually, I was doing something, I didn't realize I was doing something. You have to get out of that situation. You can't answer that person. So therefore, by seeing it as the Lord's will our attitude, initially the attitude was, I am doing, I am successful, I am failing. Now the attitude is, it's the Lord's will. No ownership. This is the metamorphic change that comes about by remembering the Lord all the time. And in this way, all our work becomes worship to that infinite Lord. And in this way, as a person continues to chant the name of the Lord, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and he does not argue, does not react to the situations that he finds himself. If till we have not attained the God realization, still then it is our responsibility, also inspired by the Lord alone, that we must live a cheerful life. And if you have this attitude that everything is Lord's, automatically all the problems go from your head. And when the problems is not there, load of the life is not there, your concern about successes and failures is not there, from whether food comes or doesn't come is not there, whether sleep comes or doesn't come not there, it's his problem. You have to be cheerful. It cannot be any other way. The lesser the weight in your mind, the joyous it is. The more joyful you are. And the most joyful, when are you? When you are sleeping. That is why it is called deep sleep, the blissful state, the Anandamaya Kosh. Why? No load on the mind. Everything has been dropped, isn't it? So here in the waking state, we are consciously dropping everything at the feet of the Lord. And initially we have to keep remembering alertly to surrender it to the Lord. After some time, it becomes your default. Right now the default is, I am doing everything. After some time the default will become, hey, let is his problem, nothing for me to do. Let's see whatever happens. Let's see what he has in store for us. No planning for the future. So as a sadhana, then so this becomes our sadhana, to develop this attitude, to catch where we are taking the ownership. We surrender that ownership to the Lord. Whichever situation we find ourselves, having an attitude that Lord has kept us in the right place for our own benefit. And with this type of attitudes, the sadhaka slowly keeps a continuous focus on the divine, on that love in his heart, and eventually, as it gets matured, he realizes him. And naturally, in this journey of living life with this attitude, he does not expect any returns. He does not expect any results. Why he does not expect any results? Because the result is also the Lord's prasad. Whatever the result is going to be there. Why should I wish that it should be like this or it should be like that? Whatever happens, it's the Lord's prasad. So the more he surrenders, the more he gives up doership, the more he gives up the egocentric desires, the more and giving up to whom? Giving up to the Lord. Slowly his personality melts, and eventually only he and only the love remains within his heart. And in this way, न तत्सिद्धौ लोक व्यवहारो हेय किंतु फलत्यागः तत्साधनम न कार्यमेव. And but certainly we must diligently pursue love and learn to renounce our anxiety to enjoy the fruit of our activities. Do not expect anything in return for the actions you are doing in your life. That is the very first step. Only as a result of that, the attitude that I am not the doer, the Lord is the doer, will happen in your mind. In your mind, this understanding will come. And when this doership is also given, another understanding comes. happens in the mind, and that is the joys and sorrows from childhood they have been coming. Why should I get troubled by them? They are also His prasad. Offer it to the Lord alone. And in this way, the seeker continues to do his sadhana. And in the 63rd sutra, the Narad Muniji says, Stri dhana nastika Stri dhana nastika vairi charitram Stri dhana nastika vairi charitram na shravaniyam. Seekers should not listen to descriptions of woman, wealth, atheists and enemies. 4 areas. Because in simple words, this will corrupt your mind. And therefore, here it is told, the first one, Stri. The more you listen to the descriptions of woman, to see that is a beautiful woman going, look at that apsara, look at that person, or you look at someone in movies, or someone comes, I know you are a brahmachari, but that girl I am falling in love with. What are her dimensions? 32, 42, 64. Gone. No attraction. Now, the more you expose yourself to these type of descriptions, then in the dream those type of thoughts come. On the seat of meditation, you start Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, and suddenly that picture pops up of whoever you have interacted or whoever you have heard about. Why only listening? On the road also, if you look at something beautiful intensely, on the seat of meditation it pops up. So we say, let the image of your body pop up, someone else is only sitting there. I thought I was a male sitting on the seat of meditation. Who is this? Who is presenting himself? It must be a divine apsara. Which one? And you start searching. It will destroy you. It will distract you from your goal. And therefore So those who are talking about share market, those who are talking about wealth, those who are talking about new projects, how to make money, what was the 3 dhana? Then second is dhana. Different ways of investment, and you start and you come to the seat of meditation. What will you think? And in meditation you get fantastic answers. And initially if you listen to them, they will happen also. Because with a pure mind those thoughts have come, and you apply, I should put into this property, I should put money into these shares, I should call that person, he will give me. And it happens. Then you are hooked. In meditation, Lord goes out, then only investments come. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that.
So for us only one less problem.
Which means?
The ladies, you don't have to worry about ladies.
No, men. For you men.
It doesn't say that, does it?
It doesn't say that. She's being very literal. Stri means satara, another meaning, which is sattva rajas tamas. Man is also made up of sattva rajas tamas alone. So when they say stri, when they say just kama, krodha, etc., it's automatically understood anger, greed, jealousy, envy, hypocrisy, arrogance. Automatically. When it is said vivek, vairagya, etc., it's automatically understood vivek, vairagya, shatka sampatti, mumukshutvam. We add etc., isn't it? So when here it is written stri, etc., it means for the woman, men, and for the men, woman, opposite sex. And you can take it in a broader perspective, that anything in this creation you get attached to, you listen to its description, automatically an image forms in your mind. And here the Narad Muni says that listening to these topics of woman, wealth, and then Nastika. Nastika is non-believer about the Lord. And they can present good argument to show, to prove to you that God does not exist. Who are these Nastic people? These Nastic people are those who are living at the level of flesh, mind and intellect alone. They don't know what is beyond that. And therefore, they only want to feed those type of thoughts which can establish that body, mind, intellect is the only reality and there is nothing else beyond this. So, eat, enjoy, make merry, be on the dole and live on the beach. Australian lifestyle.
There's also some scientists, Swami, they want concrete proof. The
Huh?
Scientists. They
Yeah.
want experiments to be shown me.
See, you yourself are, the answer is in your question. Scientists want concrete proof.
Yes.
Concrete means matter.
Yes.
But there is something more than matter, isn't it? These Nastic, and nowadays you must have seen that Secret and all other discussions of various scientists who are quantum scientists. They are scientists, they are from the same system, but they have taken that next plunge and they are bringing, they are understanding, they are accepting that there is some higher power. They don't know what it is. They may call it X factor, they may call it supra consciousness, they may call it whatever, but they have started accepting. But it has not become mainstream yet. But slowly, everything is melting. It will happen. So these Nastic, if you remain with them for some time, you will also become like that. You will also start believing that, nobody has seen God till now, and those who have seen, they say we cannot explain it. It's better to live what we see and what we know. So, enjoy the world. People can influence. So people can come, especially in ashrams, you have to be very careful. These ladies come, girls come, and they say, Swamiji, we will help you. And they do help. But how many? In our class, initially we began with 65, and in that 65 we had almost 17 or 19 girls. When we concluded the course, there were only 9 left. What were the other girls there for? Was it to study Vedanta? They were out for a Vedantic husband. They are out hunting for a Vedantic husband. That in ashrams, if someone is studying scriptures, he has to be good. So, I will fix one. And in every course, 1 or 2 love stories come out. See? So, what is the purpose? You get caught. So, then these are going with the antenna on the top. Who is available? Who is available? And you have to be very careful. It starts with, Brahmachari, I did not understand this verse, Come, I will explain you. Go on. First time it's okay. Then second time, then third time. One guy was there. After 1.5 years in the course of the study, this girl said, and he said, there's too much noise here. We'll meet behind Gurudev's kutia. And what kutia? After 2 months, they eloped. We were searching, where are these two? Gone. The next time I saw them, they had a baby. What was the purpose that that guy or that girl, whichever, in that particular case, the girl was the hunter, he was the hunted. And he is the one who was living in that ashram. He had dedicated his life for the ashram. Straight after college, he was studying in the ashram. He was worker there, and everyone was looking up. Oh, he's going to be a great missionary worker for the ashram. But destiny had something else.
It's good that he left earlier, Swamiji.
Huh?
It's good that he left earlier, no? Rather wasting another 4 years and then he goes.
Why 4 years?
I mean, like completing the
No, there is no right and wrong. That is how it was meant to be for him. But we have to look it from this point. Naturally, you can't. But if it, as a principle, we are saying that we have to be very careful. If my purpose is to what do you call?
I mean, what is carefulness? So in your mind. So
No, it is what Naradji is saying. It is what great masters are saying, that beware. If you touch fire, you will burn. No. What is carefulness? I will touch. You will burn. So if you think about the opposite sex, you will have the thoughts of the opposite sex on the seat of meditation. Try. I can give you an example. I will explain. I will explain Paul in so much detail that you will whole one night you say, Swamiji, I didn't sleep. Please change the image. Why only Paul? When we see some nice movie which catches our imagination, we see a sunset which catches our imagination, that also comes and creates havoc in our mind. Even more so for a person who is very, very gross oriented. And therefore, the woman, the wealth, because in Kali Yuga these are the three: woman, wealth, and gold. These three we have to be protect ourselves from these three. And it is not just in this Kali Yuga; it is any time, anywhere, in any time of scale of time. If we are wanting to be God-oriented, if we are thinking about opposite sex, where is our attention? Is it on the infinitude of the Lord, or is it on our body? Because we are body identified, therefore we want to satiate the urges of the body through another body. So, the ego has crystallized very strongly. And we have to come out of these animal passions, out of these desires, and surrender them to the Lord if we want to expand our love. And what will come to you, you can't decide. World is continuously coming to us. World is continuously offering itself to us. Sometimes wealth, sometimes women, sometimes challenges, sometimes successes, sometimes failures. But what we have to do is not give it attention. All we have to do is give attention in spite of everything that the world is throwing at us to the Lord, to the divine theme, to the love in our heart for that Lord. A solid image without love in your heart will not bring about a change in you. A beautiful image of the Lord in your temple. I gave the example a few days ago in that Gujarat family. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful image. You look at it, you feel, want to sit down. But are they affected by that beautiful image? Why? The love is not there in the heart. It's just an image which they have bought and possessed, and that's it. That is not the conclusion that we want. What expansion has happened? What love has expanded in their heart as a result of that beautiful image? So therefore, surrender everything to the Lord. Don't give. Don't become too serious about anything. Who was saying? Uncle was saying. He said, light stomach. That one great businessman in India. He said, light heart, light stomach. Light stomach, warm heart, and cool head are the recipe of success in life. So cool head means what? Not taking anything too seriously. But when you are interacting with the world, let there be warmth in your heart. And why light stomach? Otherwise you will feel sleepy all the time if you are overeaten all the time. Bhagavad also says the stomach, if you divide it into 4 parts, 2 parts should be full, 1 part with food, 1 part should be with water, and 1 part should remain empty. So when you get up from the dinner table, you should always get up hungry, not fill it up completely. How hungry? How full? क्या खाया था? ये खाया था. Spaghetti comes out. और क्या? What else did you eat? Wait. Olives. No, not that much. So in this way, the non-believers can easily distract you. They can say, as I said, nobody has seen God, and those who have seen God are not able to explain. This is the question Vivekananda took to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He said, have you seen God? I have gone to many gurus and none was able to show it to me. I don't. He was a Nastik initially. He wanted to believe, but he was not finding anyone. He said, Acha, aaja beta. Took him to the river, put his head down in the water and didn't allow him to come up. How can this scrawny little man, and Vivekananda was a bodybuilder, he was strong, and yet he was able to put him under the water. He said, what did you think? He said, first he became angry, Vivekananda. Why did you put me like this? Forget, you want to see God, no? What did you think when you were under the water? I was only thinking, I want to breathe, I want to breathe. Was there any other thought in your mind other than the wanting to breathe? No. When you have that type of single-pointed attention on the Lord, Lord will reveal. And that great master had the capacity. He touched his head, he showed him the Lord. There are masters who can do that. Like our Namdev. When his parents said, Acha, you have not eaten, then you think the statue can eat the prasad which you have offered? But that innocent boy again offered in the evening, and the father got the darshan of the Lord, isn't it? So it was the actions, it was the innocence, it was the surrender of the child towards the Lord which gave the darshan to his father, to his mother. It was, so in this way it is possible. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked by these Nastic people, the non-believers. And what is the last one? Stri dhana nastika vairi charitram. And don't try to improve the enemies. Improve the bad people of the society. That I have to, I must take satsang to them. They are more in number. They are more single-pointed on the jobs that they do. If you do not have the capacity, don't go even and try to change these people. First, make yourself strong. Make your foundation strong. When your foundation is strong, then it is a different matter. Then if Gondablekar Maharaj runs with the bag of utensils after the thief who has left them behind, that thief can get converted into a disciple. But you run afterwards, you will get a knife. You will lose your life. Or you will come to conclusion. He will say, "Arey yaar, why you are running after me? I will give you 50% profit." Isn't it? That's what share market is. So, whenever, but how do we do it? Most of the time we don't have control over what people say. They come, blah 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 blah. Another one comes, downloads. Another one comes, gossips about another person. Another person comes and talks about this happened and that happened and this happened. What do you do? How do you protect yourself there? How do you protect? In the air, there are many radio waves going on. Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10, Channel SBS, Channel ABC. What do you do? Change the channel. So you change the channel. You also have many channels. Channel of father, channel of brother, channel of sister, channel of husband, channel of listener, channel of a friend. Because you are a friend, but there is another channel of a devotee, of the one who loves his Lord. Change the channel. Selective hearing. Let them say, but the mind is available somewhere else. Continue inside chanting the name of the Lord. This is a technique that you have to practice and develop. Then we will not run away from the world then. Wherever we are with the Lord. We don't need special place and time to be with Him. And this is my experience. You start chanting the name of the Lord loudly, this ability comes. At work, people used to ask, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" One lady is there in our Prashila. She became so head over heels, came to Gita classes in Hobart, this, that, and at home, at work she used to go, at home she is doing puja and stopped going to parties, this, that, and very, very sincerely. She wanted to get into it more and more, wanted to know the Jigyasu stage. Went to work, and there in the break time she is quickly finishing her lunch and Gita she is reading again and again. If nothing, and she is to read not Bhagavad Gita in our Sanskrit, she is reading a Hindi translation, very simply put, and she is reading that. First people said, "What are you doing?" "I am studying, pride, I am studying scriptures. I go to Gita classes." And but why do you get angry then if you study scripture? Then why do you react? And this, and slowly, as this, initially she used to get disturbed. She used to call me, "Swamiji, this is what happened, that is what happened, this is what happened. Am I doing something wrong if I am studying in the afternoon because I want to know, I want to go through all the chapters of the Gita?" I said, "No, you are doing correct. Then where am I going wrong? Why people are teasing me and why people are troubling me, this, that?" I said, "Don't worry, it will all change. Everyone goes through that." And I had to say that, and within few weeks' time, one day, one person from someone had been transferred to a department. She came. She said, "What are you reading?" She says, "Something like that." I said, "Don't say Gita Vita. Just say some philosophical thing, something to make myself better." She said, "What are you reading?" I said, "Read something to me." She read it in Hindi. Hey, I didn't understand that. And she started translating that in English. "That is very nice. Can you read to me every day?" Yeah, chalo, ek satsang started at work. And now, till she was working, every lunchtime, all of them will come, she will read one verse. See, but it took her 1.5, 2 years for the whole department to change. But it did bring about a change in the department. Then after that, maybe whatever the reason, they said, why don't you write something on the whiteboard on the in the nurse's room? So every day she would go and write one statement, whatever she has studied. Good things always bring about change, but initially there is the fire treatment. You have to go through that. And once the gold goes through the fire treatment, it shines even brighter. And in this way, the name of the Lord is like an armor. When we have mosquitoes, what keeps the mosquitoes away from us? Odomos. Otherwise, they will come and bite. There will be a phoda, there will be a boil. But if you put Odomos or you put that spray, they come zzz, and go away. If you do not want to get wet, drowned by this ocean of samsara, ocean of this world, ocean of these emotions, ocean of these aspirations, which is having the waves of success, failure, honor, praise, insult, etc., etc., then what do you have to do? Put on the oil. You know, in South India you get Narayana Tel. You put the Narayana Tel oil on your body and you take a dip in the waters. The waters cannot touch you and you have come out dry. Very quickly you become okay. So similarly, while living in this world, you put the Narayana oil on your mind called Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Natha Narayana Vasudeva. Remember the Lord all the time. He is that film which will protect you from getting drowned or getting wet by the waters of the world. And in this manner, there are still few more verses, 3 more verses, which we'll see in our next class. Pride, vanity and such other negative urges of the mind should be given up. We agree. But in our next class, we'll look at it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Panduranga Vitthale Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vitthale Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vitthale Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vitthale Hari Narayana. Purandara Vitthale Hari Narayana. Purandara Vitthala Hari Narayana. Purandara Vitthala Hari Narayana. Hari Narayana Bhajo 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 Narayana. Panduranga Vitthala Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vitthala हरि नारायण पुरंदर विठ्ठल हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजो नारायण हरि नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठल हरि नारायण पुरंदर विठ्ठल हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजो नारायण भजो नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण बद्रीनारायण पुरंदर पांडुरंग विठ्ठल हरि नारायण पुरंदर विठ्ठल हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजो नारायण भजो नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण बद्रीनारायण बद्रीनारायण कृष्णनारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठल हरि नारायण पुरंदर विठ्ठल हरि नारायण हरि नारायण भजो नारायण भजो नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण बद्रीनारायण बद्रीनारायण कृष्णनारायण विठ्ठला हरि विठ्ठला विठ्ठला हरि विठ्ठला विठ्ठला हरि विठ्ठला 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 हरि विठ्ठला 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 हरि 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 विठ्ठला श्रीमन्नारायण श्रीमन्नारायण बद्रीनारायण बद्रीनारायण कृष्णनारायण विठ्ठला हरी विठ्ठला विठ्ठला हरी विठ्ठला 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 हरी विठ्ठला विठ्ठला हरी विठ्ठला विठ्ठला हरी विठ्ठला 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 हरी 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 विठ्ठला विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल हा हा विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल 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 जय हरी विठ्ठल जय हरी विठ्ठल विठ्ठला हरी विठ्ठला 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 पांडुरंग विठ्ठला हरी नारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठला हरी नारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठला हरी नारायण हरी नारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठला हरी नारायण पांडुरंग विठ्ठला हरी नारायण Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayan. Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayana. Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayana. Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayana. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Purandara 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 Vittala Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Purandara Vittala Hari Narayana. Purandara Vittala Hari Narayana. Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayana. Hari Narayana Bhajo Narayana. Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala. Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala. Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala Jai Hari Vittala Shri Hari Vittala. Vittala 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 Hari Vittala. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Panduranga Vittala Hari Narayana. Purandara Vittala Hari Narayana.